Welcome everyone, my name is Brendan Snyder. Thank you for joining me. This is an episode about when rockers go bad. There's been a lot of disturbing information and media that has come to light recently with the Capitol insurrection and then abuse allegations against one particular musician that we're going to get into and talk about. And the thing is, what is it that we as music fans should do? Are we supposed to stop listening to these artists? Are we supposed to get rid of their albums? So we're going to discuss all of that in this episode here. But before we go any further, if you're new to my channel and you haven't already hit the subscribe button, please click the button. Also leave a comment, hit like, all those things help support my channel. I would greatly appreciate it. And of course, as an added bonus, you'll be able to stay up to date on all that's going on in the world of music. Just like this regarding when rockers go bad, what is it that we as music fans are supposed to do? How should we feel about it? And I see this as a bit of a catch-22. And we're going to get into that. So the thing is that, as I said, recently there's been a lot of disturbing news that has come out in the media about some of our favorite musicians. We have Jon Schaffer and his involvement in the Capitol insurrection on January 6, 2021. His record label has removed his band Iced Earth from their artist roster. The bandmates have come out against him and said that they are against the violence and everything that took place. And then he has another band, Demons and Wizards, and that frontman Hansi Kirsch, who happens to also be from Blind Guardian, said he is leaving the band based on the events that took place at the Capitol insurrection and Jon Schaffer's involvement. Next, we have Marilyn Manson and abuse allegations that have come out against him. There's been several high-profile women that have come forward, like Westworld actress Evan Rachel Wood. And we've even got several high-profile musicians that have come out against him. West Borland, who was actually a member of his band for a while, and Trent Reznor of Nine Inch Nails. Now his record label has dropped him, and his management company has dropped him as well. So we've got these two things that are current stories happening, but we've also got other musical artists in the past that have done some pretty horrible things and actually been convicted of these. Rick James, the funk artist, he was convicted in 1991 of holding a woman hostage, having her perform sexual acts and even burning her. Later he's let out, and then in 1993 he's again convicted of kidnapping and assault on a woman. He's later again let out, and in 1998 and then again in 2020 he's accused of assaulting other women. So just a continuing trend that has happened with him. Gary Glitter was convicted in 1999 in the UK of having or containing child pornography on his computer. He's later let out, and then in 2006 he had relocated to Vietnam. So in 2006 he is convicted of performing obscene acts with two girls ages 10 and 11. Then we've got Phil Spector, who was convicted in 2009 of murdering actress Lana Clarkson back in 2003. There's a lot of bad stuff there. And then we've got Michael Jackson, who was never convicted of anything, had a couple trials. Lots and lots of stories had always swirled around him about indecent things he might have done with children, that sort of stuff, inappropriate relationships and all of that. Again, nothing ever stuck, but just so many stories out there, you don't know what to believe on it. And so, what happens when our musical heroes go bad? Do we get rid of their albums? Do we stop listening to them? First of all, I would say the main thing for any of this is you've got to gather all the facts, and the media will twist and spin things however they want. So, always do your homework, get your facts, read multiple stories, make a decision for yourself. If what they have done is believable, they are convicted, those sorts of things, and you decide that that is something that you can't live with, you can make a stand on that. If you follow the storylines and things and you say, there's a lot of holes in this, I'm not really sure about all of this, I don't necessarily know if this is being made up or blown out of proportion, you can go down that road and have that belief with it. But At least that way you're not just blindly following the things that are said in the media, because you can't always trust everything that's out there. As I said, and we all know this, media spins things to make stories. So first you have to do that. Now beyond that, I think it comes down to whether or not you can separate the two things. For me, I'm a big Michael Jackson fan, and I've always loved his music, and I grew up with that, and I've got wonderful memories from listening to that and so forth, and I don't want to stop listening to that. But with all of the stories that are out there and everything, it has always made me wonder and question things. And at least with that, there's no convictions, and I for one, found a lot of holes in those stories, and did further research on the people that were bringing those cases against him, and they had very shady checkered pasts and so forth. So from that sort of stuff, I came to my own conclusion. I still listen to his music, but with other artists and things that they've done, sometimes the stuff is just so horrible and so despicable. I can't listen to it without thinking of those things, and I don't want to think about those things while listening to that music, and thereby I don't. It is put away in a box. I come across it every so often and I look at it. I don't want to get rid of it. I am a music fan, I am a collector, but I can't listen to it, and that's a real shame in my opinion, that you know, these good memories that I have from those artists, listening to their music that I always enjoyed, has now been essentially crushed and destroyed, and I can't. And so there's a lot of balancing between that, and again, I find this to be a catch-22. You want to be supportive, you want to be understanding of this. If bad things have happened and you don't like that artist for what they did, but can you listen to the music and still enjoy it for what it is? The music that was done at a different time for different reasons, and you heard and listened to under different circumstances than what an artist may have done at a later period in time. And so I do understand the separation that can be within there. I also always find it really odd that record labels who drop the artist will continue to sell their music. Marilyn Manson's record label has dropped him, but they are not stopping and pulling his albums from the shelves. There's a lot of things like that, and so where do you draw the line? What is appropriate? What should be done? When should an artist be punished so severely that even their catalog is no longer sold based on what they have done? Or should the catalog be sold and the money that comes from it actually go to the victims if they are in fact found guilty? Now, I always have issue with that because we hear about it all the time. Jurors make mistakes, artists get convicted wrongly, or not artists necessarily, but people get convicted wrongly, and then 20 years later, new DNA is done, other things come forward and find out that this person in fact didn't do it, and they've been wrongly convicted and held in prison for having done nothing. Could that be the case with any of these musical artists? It's certainly possible. So I always have an issue with going to these real extremes on things, because how do you ever know anything fully? Could something come to light later that changes it? Certainly, you know, if they're convicted, they should do the time, absolutely. They should be punished. They should not, in my opinion, they should not make money from stories about it, telling their stories like made-for-TV movies, book deals, and all that kind of stuff. The money from those things should certainly go to the people that they have hurt. Civil suit cases usually resolve those sorts of things. But in all, I would say do your homework, do your gather your facts, know what is really going on amongst these artists. What did they really do? What is it that are the allegations against them? Then, are they convicted? If they are convicted, what is it over? Can you live with it? Can you separate the horrible thing that they have done from the music and just enjoy the music? In a lot of cases, I attempt to listen to the music and remember the good times, the things that came out of it. That is separate. I was not part of the events and things that took place, and I want to remember those things that took place, my memories from the music. And in most cases, I can do that. In most cases, I hope you can do that and continue to enjoy the music as a music fan. That's what we are. We are music fans. Outside of that, everyone will have to make their own best case judgment in these instances. All right, hope you guys enjoyed this. I'm sure you've got some opinions on it about whether or not you will continue to listen to these musical artists that we're currently talking about. John Schaefer, Marilyn Manson. What about these older artists? Gary Glitter and Rick James, Phil Spector. You know, he was a producer. He worked on a lot of artists, including the Beatles and John Lennon. Are you going to stop listening to those guys because some bad guy was involved? You know, so there's always things like that, right? Let me know your thoughts. I hope everyone has a great day today. I'll talk to you all real soon. Have a good one. Bye-bye.